You're ready, so far away. I think I can say that safely.
On the Friday Night Football in Big Ten.
Oh, you know, it's like the expansion. It's just a sign of the times. But I think most of us really, quite honestly, prefer to play on Saturdays, and only out of respect to high school football, all the people that play on Friday nights. But I'm sure, you know, we'll have some of it mixed in, but it won't be prominent in our scheduling.
Will Iowa ever do that? We say no way? Or?
Well, you know, if we're asked to do it, I'm sure we'll do it. But you know, hopefully we can all work together on that.
Kirk, did you have anything more? And I know you kind of hinted maybe there might be another grad transfer.
Yeah, really nothing right now. But if there are changes, we'll get them out there as fast as we can.
Trey Kramer, has he decided what side of the ball he's going to be on?
Well, my thought is defense. He hasn't said anything to me about it, but
okay.
Yeah, my thought is defense.
So you'll start him at defense on practice?
That's our plan going into it, sure is.
Okay.
You talked a lot in the offseason about the quarterbacks being even with the depth chart today. Nathan is listed #1. Is that anything to that?
Don't read into it, please. And you know, Chuck's standing over there, so I'll flash back. I don't want to discard anybody on the depth chart, and I think I tried to cover that last week. You know, the Chuck Hartley thing's a great example. I mean, the only thing, I think we were all unanimous that he was #3. That was in '87 after Mark Vlasic, graduated, then retired. He went to San Diego. So, you know, Chuck was the #3 guy going into camp, and I think, you know, we all thought it was going to be McGuire or Polholski. And you just never know what's going to happen on the field. So it's a great thing about college football, and we'll go into it with an open mind, like we will at all positions, and let guys compete, and then we'll see what they're doing on the field.
Do you split the #1 reps going into camp, or do you?
You have to, yeah. I mean, because we don't, in our minds, have a #1 right now. I don't think it'd be fair. Yet, you know, it's hard to go 3 ways. So we'll start out going 2 ways and just, you know, see what the guys are doing. But yeah, you got close to 2 hours every day to evaluate guys. It's not just what they do in team periods, but other periods as well.
Are you feeling any anxiety not having a starting quarterback?
No. I mean, you know, if you coach in college, you better get used to that. We can't. I don't know how long Brady's been at New England, but you know, we don't have that luxury. So it's just college football. But you know, the good news is if you're big into tendencies, which I know you guys are, you know, we've done okay with new quarterbacks. So I'm hoping we can keep that going.
In the past, would you have felt something, or has it become more experienced now? Or?
Well, no, I mean, it just depends on who the backups are. You know, if we didn't have anybody there, I'd be a little bit nervous. But yeah, we have high quality guys that haven't played. It's like every position. We've got a lot of good players on our team that haven't played in Kinnick or, you know, in a Big Ten game. So you know, you got to start somewhere. So that's part of it. And you know, the only difference is quarterbacks are a really prominent focal position. It's a leadership position. There's no question about that.
Nathan's won this once over Tyler.
He what? I'm sorry.
He won last year. You
Yeah,
his race,
right.
put him in. No regrets on that.
Yep.
He won this race. What has changed? What changed when Tyler was it Tyler? Did he wake up? Did he have
he never fell asleep.
Okay.
Tyler never.
And he, I guess I probably should.
Yeah, he was in that position the year before, and just, you know, coming out of camp last year, we thought that Nathan had the edge. But that's you know, that's ancient history. It's 11 months ago, and the biggest thing that's changed is, you know, CJ's not here. We know he's not playing. But you know, you look back over the last couple of years. You know, when Jake wasn't there, we had another guy who was pretty good. And Cody Suckle went down and did a great job at Louisiana Tech. So, yeah, you just never know until a guy gets on the field and gets that opportunity, what he's going to do with it. The thing I feel good about is, especially with Nathan Tyler, I think both these guys are high caliber guys. They're smart guys that really prepare. And, you know, Ryan's been here and he's back at that position. He's playing a little bit of catch up, but you just never know what's going to happen. And, you know, nobody, whatever year that was, 2002, none of us standing here knew what Brad Banks was going to do, and boy, he took off and did a good job. So, you know, that's one end of the spectrum. You know, hopefully be somewhere in between there. But you know, just we're as eager as you guys are to see how this all plays out.
Coach, a lot of talk between Nebraska and Iowa this offseason. Did you see this as a big-time rivalry now?
Well, I mean, you know, it's still in the early stages, I guess, and I can't remember the first year. I think it was 11, right? I think that's the first year we started playing each other. So, you know, it's kind of like in the infant stages compared to some of the series that we've been involved in. Yet historically, we've played. You know, the only good news is the last couple times out, at least the field's been a little bit more level. But you know, we still got a long ways to go. But I think it all makes sense. It made sense at the start when Nebraska joined the Big Ten, especially for us from a geographic standpoint, it made sense that we would have a chance maybe to get a game of interest, and it might be more than just a conference game, if you will. But those things are in the making at all times, and it just hopefully with each year, it'll be a good game.
Hey, Kirk, Brian had some comments on the podcast about recruiting up in Iowa and also like, did you see those? Talk to him, or did any reaction to what he was saying?
Yeah, I mean, he said what he felt, and his observations I think were pretty accurate. But the bottom line is whether it's looking at 3 schools or 103, everybody recruits a little bit differently. Everybody's got a different approach, and I'm not going to stand here and be judgmental and say ours is the best way. It certainly isn't. We haven't won a recruiting award in the last the last 18 years. We've never finished in the top 10. But our goal still is to try to be a top 10 football team in January. That's our goal, and it's really hard to do. So that's kind of where my focus is, more on that. And we're never going to be a glamour recruiting school. I mean, I never say never, but at least I don't see in the next decade that happening. So our best bet is to just make sure we get the right guys, however we got to get them. If it takes 2 weeks or two years to get them. And then what's really important is what they do once they get there, because it's still about, recruiting is a big interest point for a lot of people. It's become a sport and industry. But the game, the sport I'm still most interested in is the one that gets played in the fall. So that's where our focus is. What can we do to develop our guys once we get them?
The media picked you guys 4th in the Big Ten West. Is that something you observed, and is that any motivation?
Yeah, I did a radio thing today, and I don't know what magazine the guy had. He had it open, right? And we were 2. Now, that might have been 2 for, maybe it was 2 on that page, 1, 2, I don't know, but there was a 2 next to us. So, I mean, it's that season, prediction season, and as you know, I really don't worry too much about that. The good news is it has nothing to do with the final product, and there's so many things that are going to happen between now and January that are really hard to predict. How we handle those things, that's going to be what's important, and what we can do as far as maximizing the talent and personnel that we got on our football team.
2015, you were picked 4th. Is any similarity you see in terms of where the culture is compared to that year?
Well, as I said in front of the whole group, I really like this team. It's been fun to work with these guys. I think I speak for our staff. They've been really good from January on. They've had a good summer. They're not done. They still have today and tomorrow working, and then the summer's done. But so far, so good that way. And just all those little things you look for, the way the guys operated in the classroom last spring and this summer. Have they been punctual? Are they reliable, dependable, etc.? Going to the learning center appointments academically. All those little indicators you look for, and these guys have been they've been working hard. So, that's a start. But really, the most important thing is what we do moving on here, starting Sunday. But I'd sure rather go into camp with that kind of mindset and just meeting with the players and watching them interact, and really impressed with the way the guys handle things, the way they work with each other.
Are there any?
Can you talk a little bit about the West? Of course, Wisconsin, you guys have been stalwarts for a long time in that division. Can you talk about the West over the last couple of years with the rise of your Northwesterns, with expected improvements at Illinois and Purdue? Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's like college football. I think you look nationally, things are really competitive. We open up with Wyoming, who I think when we scheduled them, maybe was winless, and now they won their division last year. Have one of the top players in the country at quarterback. So that's college football. People are doing a really good job coaching, recruiting, etc. And again, recruiting to them. Wyoming's not in the top 10 recruiting deal, but they recruit well to their place and really do a good job. The guys had a lot of good players, not just a good quarterback. And our conference, Northwestern, they got our big attention in the mid-'90s. It's been strong ever since. We all have our ups and downs, but they've been strong. Wisconsin, has been really strong. Barry got that thing going, and it's just been a great run for them. So, get Nebraska join the league. Minnesota's doing a good job. So there's week in and week out. I think that's one of the great things about our conference. Is really, you think there's a week off, and you're going to get surprised real fast. So there's no such thing.
Wisconsin's playing, or they're going to play Notre Dame maybe at Lambeau. That's kind of breaking news today.
Mm-hmm.
Would you? I mean, you guys have done Chicago, and you've done Northern Illinois there. Would you want something like that? Because that's like a front porch game. It gets a lot of attention.
We've had some talk about that. Here's a challenge I think that we have in our minds, at least. And I think Gary and I are on the same page. When you play 10 Power 5 games a year, I think that measures up with anybody in the country. So, now we're going to start a discussion about maybe breaking a series so we can do a game like that. I don't think that'd be really well received at home on either side of the fence. In my opinion, I think that game is really good for our state and good for football in Iowa. So I don't see us discontinuing that series. I don't want to speak for Gary, but I think that's really important for all of us. Then on top of it, you got 9 conference games. I'm just trying to figure out. We can schedule 12 of them if we want, but I'd like to hang around for a couple more years and coach. I don't want to get run out on a rail. I'm not a masochist. And our conference, those 9 games, there's a reason why nobody else, or very few conferences do that. There's a real good reason, because it hurts you a little bit. It doesn't hurt, but it makes the challenge nationally a little bit tougher.
From a health standpoint, how are you guys going into Sunday? Anybody limited or how?
I think good. Yeah, we'll have a couple guys limited. We actually have a medical meeting on Wednesday morning, and I'll get more updates. But based on what I saw workouts Friday. We're in pretty good shape. We got some guys who are still nursing their way back and what have you. But we're doing okay. As far as the 2 deep guys, I expect everybody to be ready to go and compete.
Do you take it easy with guys like Vandenberg and Budgeta?
Not necessarily easy, but we'll be very careful of volume. Especially until they demonstrate that they're really coming along. Those guys have missed a lot of time, so I think we got to be cognizant of that and be smart about it. That's true. Anybody coming off an injury, we try to bring them along at a little bit more gradual rate and make sure we're intelligent about that. And that's when you rely on the medical community to give you good guidance there.
Do you anticipate any alternative uniforms this year?
It's a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not a total curmudgeon, Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not sure what game, and I'm not sure. I kind of know what it looks like. It's alternative. So, like I like our uniforms. I think you all know that. But so I'm sure it'll be well received.
So it will happen.
There's one on the table then. There's one.
I think it's in a box probably somewhere. I don't know. I really haven't seen it. I've seen the design. But yeah, it could get uncorked somewhere along the way. I'm guessing. I don't know. We really haven't had much discussion.
What's your input on that? Is there a degree to which you'll go?
They got to make sure. Yeah, and
sequence.
I like what we got.
Jumpsuits.
Yeah. But I get it too. People and everybody. It's kind of like the Tiger Hawk. Everybody seems to be enthused about that and well received. So hey, it's and I actually saw it a week ago, 2 weeks ago yesterday. Looked great. Saw it from the Children's Hospital. Looks fantastic. So I think it's great.
A couple more guys.
So you've decided on an alternate uniform, but not a specific game yet, or
as far as I know, they might be not telling me. I just got to find this stuff out. But we haven't really picked a week yet. But there's a little something in there maybe.
Okay.
When it comes to tight end, you're really high on the guys you have this year. When you can throw 2-3 tight ends on the field, what does it allow you to do that you guys like so much?
It's a little bit like last year with our challenges on the outside with start with Tavon and Henry graduating, George getting hurt, Matt getting hurt. It really impacted and affected how we game planned. And one thing I'll say, 2 things I'll say about Greg. Greg is a consummate professional, outstanding football coach. And I'd like to remind everybody he was coaching in 2015 too, and that offense looked like an offense we really liked, But it was a little different with the 4 guys that we had that we didn't have last year for a lot of the season. We had an NFL quarterback. A guy played awesome, CJ. But you do what you can do. So it made sense for LaShawn and for Akram to be prominent in our attack. And I'd be a fool not to stand here today and think that Akram's not going to be a big part of what we do. And our tight ends, based on what we've seen, we think it's a position that really has a chance to maybe take some pressure off the guys outside. It's really nice and reassuring to know Matt's back with us. And so that's one of the things we'll be doing in August is trying to piece all this together and give those guys that are playing quarterback a chance to actually move the ball, whether it's handing off, throwing to guys, and it really doesn't matter if you throw to a tight end or receiver. If the guys can get open and do something with it afterwards, that's a really good thing. So, it's like putting a puzzle together. You try to figure out what you have each and every year, and but those guys, based on what we saw in the spring, what we continue to see in the summer, just seeing guys act a little bit older and seem a little bit more mature. It's reassuring.
All right, thanks everyone.